What's going on, my beautiful people? I hope my mic sounds okay. My mic is broken, so I need a new one. But Sega here, back with another little video, shorter video this time, on how to work some mids. A lot of people have been not enjoying ranks and struggling with Steve, and a lot of replays I watch, they overuse highs and get crushed because you're down 1+2 and just anything that's high crushing in this game. So I'm going to show you the 6 mids I use in my game, how to use them, and yeah, tell you why you should use them as well. But yeah, getting crushed is one of Steve's weaknesses because obviously he's only punches and he's mainly highs, right? So yeah, these are the mids I use, and I'll show you how you can kind of work them into your offense. So we'll start off with a Sega special. Anyone who watches me or knows me knows that I love this move, QCF1. I think it's broken. I think it's stupid. There's borderline no wrong time to use it, except for if you're in their face, you can get beaten up by like something faster than 16 frames because it's 16. This move is stupid, however, but it's very long range. You don't have to use it from that close. Just good to check. -3. If you hold into flicker, -3. No cancel, only -10. People will try to punish this anyways if you hold flicker, so you can weave a lot of the time and then take your turn back. You can power crush, you can mash flicker jabs, whatever, but it's really good. That's my favorite mid. If you watch me play, I abuse the shit out of this, and it just lands eventually, right? And if it doesn't, you barely lose your turn, so it's really good. So that's mid number 1. Running 2 is fantastic. If you're watching this and you're not too familiar with Steve, forget I even mentioned this because it will get you killed. But if you're familiar with the character, you know what you're doing, you can pilot him well enough, right? Really good mid to add to your game. Just be very careful because it's linear. You can step into both ways, but running 2, fantastic. +6 in their face. Guess. Guess. +6. You have to guess. They try and sidestep, there's an option for everything, right? They try and dig jab. You loot QCF1 because it's 16 and you're +6, so your QCF1 will come out the same speed as their jab and your trade. So yeah, this move is really flipping great for just starting your offense and forcing pressure. Just make sure you get your insta while running motion down pat before you start doing it, because if you have some slow running, whoops, that was like really slow. You don't want to see the running animation because people will just step and then step launch you, and that's really bad. But yeah, running 2, really good. Third mid that I want to go over, which I underutilize, but you lot should definitely use, don't be like me, is Flicker 2. This is really fucking good. Really fucking good. Like quiet, like really strong mid. Counter hit launcher. Full combo. So do your Steve combo, whatever combo you guys like to do, but really good. -5. Hard knockdown, not on counter hit, so if you land it normally and they're crouching, hard knockdown, guaranteed follow up. QCF2 does more damage. If it gets blocked, it's -5. So you barely lose your turn, just block after. -5. If you're feeling pussy, you can even mash. I don't recommend that, obviously, you're -5, but yeah, and it does chip damage, so this is really good for annoying your opponent. Like, this is a fantastic move. The only downside is 18 frame startup, so it's quite slow, as you can see. Slow startup, but chip damage, CH launcher, hard knockdown on hit, like, insane move, absolutely insane. Can be stepped, it is quite linear to the right, so be careful, but at the same time, because it's a bit of a slower move, and you don't input it as fast as your others, you can kind of like catch a lot of people's sidestep timing with this. This move has like a bit of weird tracking. You can catch a lot of sidesteps because it comes out quite slow, and it will counter hit people like to your left and to your right. But generally, it is weak to. We'll do it now. Sidewalk left god. As you can see, misses. But as you can see, if you delay a little bit, as I just did, it caught Steve that one time, right? Like that. But yeah, it's weak. Let me see if it's weak to the right as well. Yeah, weak to both sides, so it's quite linear. So usually you'll see a lot of Steve players do this when they want to use it. Do some sort of dash blocking, just to realign a little bit, or to scare their opponent, or do a bit of both. Then they'll let it rip. So yeah. Common flowcharts come off the back one, they do this. People will see back one, they see you're in flicker, they like to hard duck or prepare their low crush move that's going to save the day, and you rip this, bang, counter hit launcher. But yeah, so QCF1, running 2, Flicker 2 are the first three. The next two are very underutilized and very fucking important for mixing in your offense, yeah. So I want anyone watching this who doesn't use these two, really focus on the last three I've just showed you. So Flicker 2, these last two I'm going to show you are important. Running 2 QCF1 is nice, but don't autopilot them because like, again, like just don't autopilot them. We want to become as unpredictable as possible and open up the opponents and everyone the turtles. The age-old question, how do I open up a turtle? You do it with these moves. So the next one I want to show you is, yeah, we'll go Flicker first. So we'll Flicker 1, forward 1, this one. You can do 1 Flicker 1, or 1 Flicker, 1 Flicker forward 1, like this. So 1 and then forward 1, and then 1 forward 1. Really good move. -5 on block, and then 0 on hit. Whoops. Yeah, 0 on hit, -5 on block. If you can mix this in your neutral, it just makes your flicker game so much more frustrating because the flicker jabs are highs, a lot of the extensions are highs. You've only got 2 mid extensions, which is this and this. Flicker 2, mid extension as well. Even power crushes are high. Like, most of your extensions out of flicker are going to be high. So when people see you in flicker, they just like to hard duck because like it's a good, there's a good chance you're going to do something that's high and you can get launched. So mixing in Flicker 2 and mixing in this just makes your offense so much more unpredictable, so much more annoying to deal with. Because a good Steve, the way you can tell if a Steve is good and if he's legacy is if he uses this, trust me. And trust me, people can get really creative. You can delay the shit out of this as well. Let me show you. You can delay the hell out of it. And on counter hit, it hard knocks down. Whoops. Bodied Steve. On counter hit, it's a hard knockdown as well. As you can see, guaranteed follow up there. On counter hit is really good. So people will block the flicker jabs usually. Then they get hit with the mid. So yeah, use Flicker 1 forward 1. Very good. And then last but not least for now, 1 down 1 series and 1 down 1. Again, 0 on block. And cancel into, if you cancel into flicker, if you don't, I think it's -6. Oh, yeah, good knowledge. So yeah, you can do 2 jabs, down 1, and then hold back, or 1 jab, down 1, hold back. Same shit. Goes into flicker, and then again, because you're neutral, you can mash your flicker jabs if you really want to after, but be careful because your flicker jabs are I-12, meaning they come out of 12 frames. So if your opponent does something 10, 11, or 12 frames, you'll get beaten out on your trade at 12, but if they do something slower than 12, your flicker jabs will counter hit into the famous counter hit Albatross 1 sequence that becomes guaranteed. So this becomes guaranteed on counter hit, and then because you're 0, you can weave, so you can do shit like this. You can do shit like this if they mash, power crush. I like to do insta wild man like this to check. 1 down 1, empty spin, again, so 1 into the flicker 1 mid option. But yeah, this string is really good. Because again, it just makes you more unpredictable, right? Because it's another sequence that goes into flicker that your opponent needs to be wary about. A lot of people do default to mashing just a slow button, like a down forward 1 for whatever reason. So this will catch them out because most DF1s are like 13, 14 frames. This will work. Power crush is good. If they go to crush you with a low option, a slow low will lose the flicker 2. It's just fantastic. Really good move to mix up your neutral and your offense. But yeah, there's Albatross 2 as well. Alright, I just wanted to highlight 2 moves in particular. Downfall 2. Whoops. And Albatross 2. So specifically Albatross 2 and how you can use it to kind of manipulate your opponent. You can kind of puppeteer them a little bit. So most of you watching this will do Albatross 2 into up back 3. This is a fantastic flowchart, that's all fun and games. Please do not autopilot this every time you Albatross 2. Please. Because again, when I watch a lot of Steves, every time they Alb 2, they just let this rip, like this move, like it's almost like the up back 3 is part of the move as well, like this comes out automatically. It's good for baiting out a whiff punish. It's okay for resetting neutral. But I've watched countless people just get hit out of this and heat engaged on or launched, and like then they don't know what to do. They end up not throwing Albatross 2. Albatross 2 is a good mid check. Again, you can sidestep it to the right, so be careful. But it's very linear. I think yeah, you can step it both ways, but people usually step it to the right. But I'm going off topic. This is a good mid check. It's still good. It's still a good move to use to advance, but there's better ways to use this move. So if you've conditioned your opponent with a couple Alp 2s into over here, if you've ever watched Gohan play, Shinblade, I do this a lot, but any top Steve, they will do Alp 2, and depending on their opponent's response and if they've conditioned them, if your opponent thinks you're going to fly away over here, they're probably going to delay their button and try and close the distance first and then press. You can sneak in a back one. Counter hit back one. I need a counter hit right now for the simulation. Boom. This works a lot. If you've conditioned them properly, this is very powerful because it basically says you're going to respect my fucking Alp 2, bro. You don't have to autopilot over here all the time. I can't stress this enough. Stop doing this every time you do Albatross 2, please. I'm not saying stop doing it, like in general. No, I want you to have this in your arsenal. This is broken. Because you're going to meet some idiots that mash after it every time and you can launch them for it every time. That's fine. That doesn't account to them. You don't need to change anything. If they're eating the uppercut launch every single time, fine. Keep running it. But for those characters that will adapt, because when you climb up the ranks here, your game plan is not going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, running 2, Albatross 2, back 3 after. Nah, bro, like you're going to have to adapt. Stuff like back 1 to catch any slow buttons. I like doing 1, 2, 1 after. It's my favorite button on Steve. 1, 2, 1 is good. Your jabs are I-10, you're -3, they come out 13 frames. That's a joke. Considering this move is -3, it's a fucking joke that you can check with 1, 2, 1 after. Stuff like that to see what your opponent does. You can even weave, or you can wait and just lose your turn. You don't have to mash something. But the alternative for up back 3, if you don't want to do up back 3, you can let the back 1 rip. You can let the 1, 2, 1 rip, but even if they block your response, you're basically giving them another layer to think about past Albatross 2, because a lot of people try and punish it. So yeah, I wanted to include that like little disclaimer. Stop doing this every time, because so many times I play the Steve mirror, the second this comes out, I just run into. The second I see the Alp 2 come out, I run into, and I always heat engage with my opponent. Every single fucking mirror I've played, I've done this to someone. I know the overhear is coming, so please don't autopilot this. Again, if you know you're into someone that can't wait to take their turn back, let it rip. But sometimes give this a go, man. Sometimes give this a go. After. Sometimes give this a go. Shout out Bull Rage for that one. Bull Rage told me Peekaboo 2 works as well, so Bull Rage gave me that little tip as well. Do this as well to catch pressures. You have some tips. Remember, you're only -3, so you can absolutely try and like take your turn back and like mash after, you know. Absolutely, you've got great counter hits. -3 is very safe, very fucking safe. So experiment with that. And lastly, Downfall 2. So this year, Downfall 2 is a really weird button because there's some mixed opinions about it. I think it's trash and it's absolutely awful compared to what it was in T7. In T7 1.0, so release T7, it was a god button. Homing, counter hit, launcher, mid. It counter hit on, and it gave a really easy combo. You would just do extended duck in 1 and pick up normally. They then nerfed the tracking and they made it so you had to do the Shiro combo that everyone knows, right? This year, it's got no tracking. It gets stepped pretty fucking easily. And on counter hit, it does nothing. You get a 44 damage or 42 damage follow up, for God's sakes. On counter hit, it's pretty fucking cheeks as well. So in open ground, you get this 42 damage, or you get this 44 damage. So 2 extra damage. The second one I did with Wild Rising 1-2 is harder. But for a bit of practice, you should do it every time. So it's pretty easy once you get it down. But yeah. Add the wall option 1 as a launcher. So this launches at the wall. 42 damage, as you can see. But again, why are you throwing Downfall 2 at the wall? when there's like QCF1. You shouldn't be fishing for counter hit of the wolf down 4-2. So yeah, this move is only good, in my opinion, for advancing on your opponent. So if you're playing into something long range, like something like Brian who wants to snipe you around this range, something where you're going to have difficult closing the gap, where you want to get in on your opponent, it's not bad to throw out on block and kind of step in, like I just did. So in a situation like this, you kind of just DF2 and now you're in. And if you know your opponent likes to take their turn back with highs, for example, what's the enter? Punish? Yeah, fast. We'll do fast high attack, it doesn't matter. So if your opponent likes to take his turn back with highs, you can bait them out and do something like this. That's your only time. Literally the only use you have for it. Doing something like that, in my opinion. I just think it sucks outside of this. Like, that's literally the only thing. So that when I'm bouncing around the neutral, if I want to get in on my opponent, I'll just throw this out, right? But that's it. I just think there's better mids to use, man, compared to down 4-2, because some Steve mains still think it's good and it serves a purpose, but I just think they have legacy habits built into their tendencies. But yeah, I just wanted to include this part of the video because, yeah, these two buttons can get you killed, but they're also kind of important because if you can establish your pressure of down 4-2, if you can land this on block, you're only -2. It's fantastic. It's very safe. So again, you can do the ducking sequence I just showed you. Stay in duck, fish for like wild man or something. Like whatever. Like you have some options. You can play with the mind game of ducking in as well. Like it can be really good. It's -2, so you kind of have to use it at -2. It's giga safe. You kind of have to. But the button on its own, in terms of its properties, I think it's like it's cheeks. It's cheeks. So yeah, experiment with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I kind of leave this one up to you if you want to include this or not. Like it's still a decent mid. It does have a counter hit extension. 44 damage is okay. Like 44 damage is good, and then you have a hard knockdown. Like yeah, like use it. Like, but I see a lot of Steve players only using this like it's Tekken 7. No, we're not doing that, bro. We're not only using it like it's T7. There's better mids, but yeah, sprinkle it in your game. But let me know what you think. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. For anyone going through rank tribulations, please keep your head up, please keep playing, unless you don't like the game, then stop. But we were all once hard stuck, me included. It's a tough game. It's month 8, everyone's learning, it's still fresh, it's season 1, and we barely have 4 DLC characters, we only have 2. Yeah, Steve is a tough character. Just stop doing the million highs and stop getting crushed. Work on the mids that I showed you, so flicker 2, Alb 2, 1 down 1, flicker 1, forward 1, running 2, QCF 1, sprinkle them in your gameplay, you should see an improvement. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. It is 7 AM where I live in the UK, and I just got out of bed to make the video basically. I really wanted to just drill this into people's heads, because when I watch replays, no one does these mids for whatever reason, or they barely use them. So yeah, hope you learned a thing or two. Thanks for watching them.